You are now listening to Playbook Radio. Here is your host, Martin Williams.
So welcome to Playbook Radio. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. All the links to the podcast can be found at gameplanplaybook.com. That's gameplanplaybook.com. So today what I wanted to talk to you about is the first principle of the playbook. And the playbook is something that I've talked about on this podcast many times throughout the years, but I haven't really broken down each of the principles. I've made some brief comments and asides to it, but I've never really gone into it in detail like I am today. So very excited to do this, and hopefully it will help you in some way. So as I said before, the playbook is my signature framework. It's the thing that I live by. It's the thing that I teach clients when I'm coaching or just regular people. It's the framework that I use, and everything that I know about success ties into each of these 23 principles. Okay. And I've been inspired from many different sources, whether it's Think and Grow Rich, Master Key System, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. A ton of teachers have poured their knowledge into me, and I've used that to create success in my life in different areas. So what I've learned is that for me, whatever I'm doing, I want to have like a framework. I want to have some sort of like a menu or a blueprint to use, because I think we waste time a lot trying to figure out how to do different things. But if you had an instruction sheet, if you had a worksheet that you could work off of, a framework that you could work off of, you would save a lot of time, and you would avoid a lot of wasted time, wasted effort, and wasted energy in pursuit of whatever it is, whatever your goal is. And we all have different goals. We all have things that we're going after. But this particular framework can be applied to whatever goal that you're pursuing. So the first principle, it is desire. And desire is known as the first step of all achievement. And it's inspired by Think and Grow Rich, which is, in that book, is also considered to be the first step of all achievement. And anything that you want in life, anything that you want to do, there's got to be a desire there. There's got to be something that gets you moving towards that thing. Whether it's something as small as getting a bite to eat, or going to the bathroom, or, going to the mall, or what have you. There has to be a desire. There's something pushing you to do that thing. And if there isn't a desire, then oftentimes we won't break pattern. We won't break our habits to do something different. One of the reasons that change is so hard is because we have to overcome the inertia of doing nothing. If you're overweight and you've been overweight for a number of years, it's hard to overcome the behaviors that you've been practicing to get to this point. Okay. You may want to lose weight, but you have to overcome those behaviors, that mindset, to start moving towards a healthier body, or a healthier lifestyle. If you want to get out of debt, you have to break pattern of overspending and overcommitting and buying things that you can't afford. For most people, that's how they get in debt. Are there exceptions? Of course. But for most people, they end up in that situation because of their mindset and their behavior. So if you want to change, then you've got to overcome those patterns and those habits, and that takes energy. But that's why desire is so important, because desire will give you the necessary energy to overcome that. So desire can come from a lot of different places and a lot of different sources. Pain can cause desire. The desire to alleviate or eliminate pain. Problems can cause desire. The desire to eliminate the problem, or a vision. You may have a vision that causes you to desire something that you don't have. But wherever the desire comes from, it's important to locate it and then harness it, right? A desire is like, it's like a horse. It's like a runaway freight train almost, where, you know, you can get on, right? And let it take you to the goal. Okay. And again, desire is important because it helps you overcome procrastination, things that you're putting off, things you've been putting off for a long time. There's got to be a desire to break the habit, to break the pattern. Starting and finishing things, there has to be a desire to break that pattern. If there's no desire, then you're not going to break that pattern. Okay. Um, all desires are not healthy. There are some desires that are not healthy for you. Some things are not good for you, right? You may want to bust somebody upside the head because they talk to you crazy, and you may have a strong desire to do that. But, is that the best thing for you to do? No, because if you don't, if you do that, right? If you were to take that action, that can lead to a negative outcome. Okay, so you have to have discernment in choosing desires that lead to positive outcomes. Okay, use desire as a North Star. Your desire will guide you in the direction that you need to go. If you're ever indecisive, if you're ever in a place where you don't know what to do, use your desire to guide which direction you want to go in. I remember I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to eat. And one of the things in America is that we have so many options. We have unlimited options that sometimes you can literally sit for 20 to 30 minutes trying to decide what it is you want to eat. But I learned that it's all about what is my desire? Like what desire do I have in this moment? And maybe that desire is for Italian food or Chinese food or whatever, but I'm letting my desire guide me towards the right thing. Now, obviously, what to eat is not a huge deal, but if you use that framework for bigger decisions, then you'll find that you'll often make the right decision because you're using your desire as a North Star. That North Star is another way of saying, pointing you in the right direction, in the direction that you need to be walking in. Desire is an expressed energy, right? So desire is like an attractive energy. It will attract the things that you want. It will attract the people. It will attract the person, places, and things that are necessary for your goal to happen. Okay. Far too often people don't get the goal that they want, not because it's not a good goal to have, but because that desire is not great enough, right? If you understand how magnets work, a magnet that doesn't have a strong enough magnetic pull will not attract and hold certain things, right? A big piece of machinery needs a big magnet to attract it and to hold it, right? And in the same way, your desire has to be so strong that it will attract the thing that you want, especially if it's something that you've never had before. If you've done it before, then the desire doesn't have to be that great. And most often it's not that great. But when you're talking about something that you've never done, never had before, you have to have a desire that's so great that it transcends everything that you've done up to this point. It transcends your mindset, transcends your past, transcends your fears, transcends everything that is standing in the way between you and it. And when that desire becomes great enough and big enough, it will begin to work, right, behind the scenes to put you in position to have that goal, right? So what you're doing is that you're working with the mental laws for success. You're not so much making things happen. Excuse me. You're working with the law, and the law is working for you. Desire is doing the heavy lifting because, like I said, it's an attractive energy, right? So that's why it's important for you to understand the power of a burning desire. And it's important for you to locate what that desire is. And then, like I said, harness it so it can take you to where you need it to go. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Martin Williams. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope, that you got something out of it. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Playbook Radio. If this episode helped you, please share it with family and friends. For more about Playbook strategies, please go to GameplanPlaybook.com.